coming on, wasn't he? BBC The Middleton just turned 10 o'clock Saturday night, rocking the 80s tunes. And some great guests on the show tonight. Shakin Stevens and Adam Ant, still to come between now and midnight. If you want to text the show, 81333 is the number, 81333. Start your text off with the word Midlands, and it'll get into the in-book standard text charges apply.
Keith Middleton's Extravaganza on the BBC in the Midlands.
I'm glad to get my next guest on the show because he is celebrating 30 years since his first hit, Hot Dog. Remember that? And it's great to get him back on the show. Shakin Stevens, hello.
Hello, mate. How are you? All right?
I'm very well. Glad to get you back on the show. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Yeah, good. I mean, we all heard of the unfortunate, and it was in the Mail.
You've been poorly, haven't you, recently?
Yeah. I mean, last year I was in intensive care. I had a heart attack, but I'm finding fit now. I mean, since then I've done the first phase of the UK tour. We did 19 dates there, and I've done festivals and so forth throughout the year on that. And we're off to Poland at the end of the week, and also Zurich. And we start a 26 date tour at the end of the year. So
now, normally when the medical profession say you've had a heart attack, they say calm down, calm down. Did they say that to you?
Kind of. I must take things a little easy. I mean, I think, but I won't be lifting anything. I think what started it off really was I was lifting heavy things, basically. Yeah. So I won't be lifting. I won't be doing the roadie this time,
Right. Okay. Well, we're glad that you survived, and you still got. And apparently, you're better than ever now.
Yeah, I feel good, yeah.
That's good. You still remain the UK's 16th highest-selling artist in the history of the charts. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's good that it hasn't been broken, and so it's good. It's good to be in the history books and so forth, and I'm very pleased with that,
We'll talk about the tour and the special releases that you've got, and the extra dates, because it's so... everybody wants to come and see you. But a little bit of history about yourself. When I first saw you, I thought, that's Elvis Presley. Because you played the part of Elvis in a show, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Well, that was a long time ago, but that was in the West End musical. Yeah, I did. Yeah, there was three of us basically, and I played the middle part. And it ran for 19 months and won an award, and it was very, very good. I mean, but long before that, I was with a band called Shakin Stevens and the Sunsets, and But yeah, it ran very successful. It was an honest tribute to the man, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Now, I know your dad was a builder, wasn't he?
He was a builder, yes. He was definitely a builder, yeah.
Any inklings to go down the building trade when you were younger?
Well, when I left school, I had loads and loads of jobs, basically. I mean, the first, and when I left school, I mean, I was in bands as well and groups, from the very, very early age of 15 or so. But I mean, I didn't sit around. When I was growing up, you had to get out and get a job, and so I just basically took anything really. I mean, I had worked in a warehouse, I worked on the buildings lots of times, and what else was I?
You were a milkman, weren't you, at one time?
I was a milkman, but I mean, I wasn't just a milkman. I mean, when you read in the papers, you always say I was a milkman. I wasn't just a milkman. I had tons of jobs. I was even an upholsterer, which I loved. I loved a lot because the radio playing as well while you were kind of doing your work with the chairs and the sofas there. So I loved that. That was great.
Shakin Stevens, cry just a little bit. He's coming up our end, to do a concert. I'll give you the dates in just a sec. 22 minutes past 10 o'clock Saturday night, the extravaganza, celebrating the music from the 1980s. And more from Shaky in just a sec. Love Diane in Telford on the text. Love the 80s and Shaky's my hero. I was talking to Shakin Stevens, if you hadn't guessed, the other day, and he was christened Michael Barrett, did you know? And I asked him where the Shaky came from.
Well, that came basically, we were kind of kids in the street, really, playing, you know, in those days. I mean, we had no computers or anything like that, or any other games, you know. So I suppose, you know, we annoyed the neighbours from time to time. We used to have games like Kick the Can and
oh, great,
you know, things like Rat Tat Ginger, you know, and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. British Bulldog, and those kind of games, you know, and basically one of the lads, his name was Stephen Vanderwalker, and you know, he used to say, ladies and gentlemen, you know, Shakin Stevens. And I thought that's quite a wacky name.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, the name I was christened with, I thought was quite ordinary for the time. Because,
yeah.
I mean, you know, you had, you know, kind of unknown, kind of bizarre names like Who, Yes, and, you know, the Beatles and so forth.
I know.
So, and of course, from the artists, you know, you had, if you look at the blues names, you know, like from Muddy Waters to Lazy Lester to, you know, so forth, you know.
Boxcar Willie, that's another good one.
That's right. So I thought Michael Barrett was, you know, a bit ordinary, so I plumped for that one. But he didn't actually go into the music business, but he loves telling the story, and that's how it happened, basically.
Yeah, you could have called yourself Stephen Vanderwalker, couldn't you?
Yeah, he would have loved that.
Also, you're native of Cardiff?
Yes, right, yes. I was born there, yes, in a place called Ely.
Ely, I know Ely very well. And you support the football team, and Dave Jones recently sacked. Was that a good move in your opinion?
Well, let's not get too into that. But you know, I do. You know, I'm from Cardiff, so and I'm not a really football goer, but you know, I also like. But I do try and see what the scores are and so forth, but also with the rugby as well, with the Six Nations.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great as well, and I did have the pleasure of being invited down to Cardiff to perform in Cardiff Downs Park there, which was a great thrill.
Brilliant.
And, yeah. So it's great. We have a bass player also in the. Well, obviously not. I mean, if you've got a band, I mean, you can have a bass player anyway. But he's a lovely guy, and he plays double bass as well, and he's a very much. You know, a football, rugby person, and but he's from Swansea, so...
bit of banter there.
We get a little bit of banter there.
Now, you're good friends with loads and loads of people, and a little bird tells me, Matt Lucas, David Williams, they wanted you to appear in Little Britain at one time.
They did, yeah. I mean, that's a while ago now since that series came out, but the first time, very first showing of it, they sent a pilot, and... which means a DVD, you know, of the program, and you know, we watched it, and basically the script was about, I think it was Connie Taylor, such a long time ago now.
Right.
She was in a coma, and we just thought it was a bit too near the mark to make it, you know, a little bit jokey.
Got it.
So I passed on it. But having said that, you know, we wished him all the best with the series, and we actually said to him that, you know, you've got a big hit on your hands, and you know, I've seen him from time to time, and you know, they kind of they're great guys.
Oh, my legs are kicking now. Oh, in Green Door style. Shaky Stevens and Green Door, 10:30 on the nose, BBC in the Midlands, the extravaganza. More from Shaky in just a sec. Hope you're enjoying the interview. Carolyn Rushton in Telford. And so, Keith, I love Shake. Oh, I do. I've been a fan of Shaky's for 33 years. Wow. So you knew him when he was a lad. If you want to email your comments to the show, by all means do so. It's keith.middleton@bbc.co.uk. Still to come, we are in conversation with Adamant. He's back after 15 years and talks about his mental illness. Anyway, talking of chatting, I got on really well with Shaky, friend of the show, and we were talking about his recent releases. You've got some releases well, one's already out, and which is called Red Hot and Rockin' and Rock and Country Blues. That came out early September.
Yeah.
Then the 3rd of October, Rockin' Rhythm, Rockin' and the Blues, and then the 31st of October, Rockin' with Country and Country Blues. Now, I'm reading the blurb on it. It says a series of 6 themed CDs.
Yeah.
Showing you from rock, country, blues, Cajun, traditional rhythm and blues. A wide spectrum, mate.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's a follow-on from the box set which was released last year.
Yeah.
Of 147 tracks, and they've all been redigitally mastered. Because I mean, a lot of people were saying, why can't we have them on CD? We've still got the first 3 were still vinyl. So come on. So we've done that for them, and we went on from that really, and just kind of. Put across, I mean, in the CD, there's 15 tracks in each CD, and we just wanted to kind of put across the themes, the styles of music that's there. I mean, It's Raining, for instance. I mean, that's a rhythm and blues song, and it's a great collector's item, and it kind of it enables people to listen to the catalogue, I guess. Not just the hits, but the other tracks as well. So I'm very pleased with the artwork on it. It's very different from the past photos and so forth, and some great sleeve notes on there. So I'm very, very pleased with it. And as you say, that comes out as you said just now.
And also, there's the album Now Listen. It's called.
Yeah, now listen, that was one that we did. We did that a couple of years back, and basically I got re-signed to Sony Music. They've now changed it to Sony again now.
Yeah.
And, that was by Rob Stringer. He signed me to the label, and I did the album, and it was a kind of a bridge album, and we're very, very pleased with it. The unfortunate thing is, though, is that he signed me. The TV advertising, all the promotion was all put together and so forth, but then. He was called then to America with his brother, and he was transferred out there. And of course, unfortunately, the commitment went with him. So, why that? I think that's the reason why the album didn't make such a big noise as it should have, really. Yeah. But nevertheless, Denmark went with it, and it went to number 8 in Denmark. But unfortunately, the other territories didn't go with it because I was a kind of a UK sign-in, but there you go, that's showbiz. It's a great album. I mean, there's one of the tracks on there, that I had the pleasure of working with Tony Joe White, and that track's called How Could It Be Like That, and that was a great thrill for me. And I've also, so apart from the back catalogue, I've been recording some new songs as well, started it last year, and hope to finish it off this year for a release of next year.
Shakin' Stevens. He's got a good rock track in him, isn't he? Brilliant. 21 minutes away from 11, still to come. Adamant in conversation. Pete in Newcastle has texted in and said, Keith, is Shaky doing any more collaboration with Queen's Roger Taylor on drums, like on radio? CD. Now, funny you should say that, Pete. He did tell me that there's something in the melting pot. However, my intro to the final part of the Shaky interview is, and I quote, there's one track called Radio, and Roger Taylor of Queen played drums on it. And I asked Shaky how that particular collaboration came about.
Well, the song was sent to me by a guy called Gordon Campbell. He was the co-writer with Bob Heatley, and Bob Heatley, of course, wrote Merry Christmas, Everyone, and Cried a Little Bit, and that. And he sent it to me, and I liked it, but I said, blah, 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 can you change this little bit and that bit? And he
tweaked it a bit,
Tweaked it a bit, and he sent it back. And what I noticed with the actual demo was that the drums were very, very prominent in the track, quite loud in the track and that. And so rather than, we just thought it was a great idea to pull in the name, have somebody with a name on the drums. And we thought of, Roger Taylor, and we sent a letter off, and fingers crossed, and he came back and said, yeah, I'd love to. So that was a great thrill. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you something spooky now, mate, because driving into the studio tonight, I've got an iPod and I've uploaded some songs, and I've got one of these iPods which is a big one that holds 40,000 songs.
God.
And at the moment I've called it Trevor for some unknown reason, and on this it came out radio with Shakin Stevens.
Right.
And it was on while I was driving in tonight, and I thought, how spooky is that?
That is spooky, isn't it?
And I thought, I'm going to ask you about that. And
you work on the radio.
I work on the radio, yeah. How spooky is that?
God.
Let's talk about the tour.
Yes.
You're ever so busy. Now, your doctor said, calm down, but you're ever so busy. The dates that involve us in our area.
Yeah.
Swindon's Oasis Leisure Centre on the 11th of November, Wolverhampton Civic Hall on the 25th, Malvern's Forum Theatre on the 27th, Southport Theatre on the 28th, and the Grantham Mears Leisure Centre on the 9th of December.
Right.
And you never stop, do you? No. From the word go, bang, bang, song after song after song after... And you not only sing, but you dance with it as well.
Yes, and chat.
Yeah, and chat as well. So, if we come along to one of the new shows, mate, what can we expect?
Well, it's the first part of the UK we call the first phase, but this is the second phase, and areas we haven't been to. That's the reason for that. And there will be some hits, but there'll be some album tracks and some new songs and a few surprises. It's a nice mix. We've tried it out. We're going to make it slightly different again, but the feeling of it has been well received, and people have been very, very pleased. And
excellent.
And it's there's something there for everybody, over the decades.
I know all the details are on shakinstevens.com because I've got it on the computer right now. I'm looking at it. When you get time off, mate, this is the final question.
Okay.
How do you relax? How do you put your feet up? Would you go on holiday or what?
Well, a holiday is something we do need. We do need. And we must do that. And we've tried and tried and tried, but, with this year has been, the trouble is you try and organise something, and then something else comes up because there's a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
I know it sounds
if I've got the BBC magic wand now, and I said, Shakin Stevens, I'm going to give you 3 weeks off, what would you do? That's put you on the spot, isn't it?
Yeah, that's put me on the spot. But it's like clearing things away, a lot of the time, actually, basically, is clearing things away and stuff and that. But I think if you put me on the spot and said 3 weeks, you have to turn around and say, oh, what the hell, let's take it and let's go.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's great to catch up with you, mate.
Okay, that's great. Lovely talking to you, Keith.
Regards to all the family and what's have you.
Thank you very much.
Shakin Stevens, thank you. Shakin Stevens and radio with Roger Taylor on drums. So watch out for that brand new release from Shaky, that album release. Looking forward to that greatly. Adam Ant on the way before midnight, and Adam playing some great Adam and the Ants music, and talking to Adam about his troubles and his brand new show as well.